to glare at the glasses. This time. Oh, wrong way. It's hard when it's mirrored.
I know. I'm like, oh, where's my
Which way do I go? There.
Okay. Oh, that one. This one.
Can introduce us on this one?
Sure. Hi, welcome back to Reframe and Reclaim. I am Courtney Huckabee.
And I'm Jen Harris.
And we're here to talk about the start of fall. As we approach the fall, we're getting into a different kind of busy. We're leaving the summer vacations, the hectic summer camp schedules, the vacations, the time away from work or school, trying to plan extra, to getting back into a routine or finishing out the year, getting those last quarter projects at work done.
Yeah. And then, it snowballs right into the end of the year, to the holidays.
Right.
I love fall. It's my favorite time of year, so.
I do love fall, too. It's something about, when you live in Texas, as we do, it's just really unbearably hot most of the year. But we start to get a little bit of relief in the fall. And sometimes with that relief, we start to think about planning outings and going to festivals and maybe even taking some fall breaks and vacations away.
All the things. Yeah, because like you said, this is the time to capitalize on living in a warm climate, right? It gets a little bit cooler. You can actually be outside for longer than 10 minutes at a time. So
yes,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
But with that, it also comes with a lot of scheduling. You want to do all the things. You look online, it's like, oh, I want to go to the pumpkin patch this year. Oh, or there's Deutschenfest, or sports are starting, football's starting. All these things can start happening, birthday parties. And so your schedule can get busy really fast.
Yes, I know that this season means football season, which means my husband is going to be watching college football and pro football and Thursday night football and Monday night football and Saturday football and Sunday football. However, we also have a family and a life, and so we try to make sure, the birthday parties that my kid goes to and which football games are the most important to watch, and when do we spend time with family, and what are we eating this week, by the way?
Oh my goodness, yeah, so many things. So how do you help prioritize those things and keep everybody on the same schedule? Because I'm sure your husband's not like, oh yeah, sure, I'll turn off the TV, I'll turn off, Aggie football.
There is a lot of compromise and a ton of communication. I will say my husband is very good at making sure we have a shared calendar. So that has been really great. So we have a digital shared calendar. He puts his important work meetings or conferences where he's flying out of town for work. I put my important, like working late, or if we have a birthday party, or if there's a special event for my kids' school on there. So that way we have it at least to look at and communicate. So that's helped us a lot, just to make sure we're communicating the best we can, and also kind of prioritizing and scheduling together.
Yes. Yeah. No, the calendar, I swear you have to, you live by the calendar this time of year, especially, it all adds up. So many things happen then before you know it, it's the holidays. Because one of the things that I do, and I have trouble with, but I've gotten much better, is I see like those fall bucket lists, it's like, eat your spiced apple cider, all your spiced apple things, and then going to see the leaves change, and then you have your Halloween decorations, and then you have the fall festival, and you have all these things, and I want to do it all.
Yes,
like I'm a modern consumer. I should be able to do this all. That S word, should. Right? And before I know it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do all these things, and then all the weekends are packed. You get birthday invitations and invitations to other things. And so what's been really helpful for me is taking a step back, and it's looking at the calendar, right? Like you said, and then, oh my goodness, there's only 3 holidays till Halloween, or 4, or there's 8 till Thanksgiving. What are my top things that I really want to do? And sometimes it is, there's this birthday party from this kid in my son's class, but you know what? We really wanted to go to the pumpkin patch. And this is the only weekend we go to the pumpkin patch. And so sometimes we have to make those hard decisions. But by really focusing and prioritizing what's important to our family and our family values, it makes sure that that holiday season is what we want it to be. Because are my kids going to remember that birthday party? No, I'm probably not. But we will remember the pumpkin patch. So...
And I think it does go back to your home, your family,
Yes.
your priorities. Because if you're a single person, or if you are a married couple, or if you are a retiree or an empty nester, you're going to prioritize your life and your schedule differently. And so, what works for you? And I think what's really important is, in my life chapter right now, I'm hearing a lot of, I'm a counselor, a lot of people going back to school. And we've got band, and we've got track or cross country, we've got basketball and piano lessons, and I have, I'm kind of the chauffeur here and there. And one thing I tell parents so much is don't overschedule your kids. They don't always have to be in an activity or an extracurricular. It's really great for us just to have downtime sometimes. But it's really hard because we want to do it all.
The things.
Yes, we want to do it all.
I know, it's so hard to find that balance. And our culture is very busy, go, go, go. So sometimes, I know I felt this where it's like, oh, well, I'm going against the flow. Should I feel guilty because I'm not going to the thing that everybody else is going to, And so, again, going back to those core values for your family. And, I mean, it's your life, do what feels good. So
yeah. So for me in my life, I really love making sure we have family time around the dinner table, but I do not want to cook 5 nights a week, nor do I have the energy to. So really, when I go to the grocery store, talking to my husband, even talking to my kid, what do we want to eat for dinner this week? And then maybe cooking a little bit bigger of a meal so that I don't have to cook 2 nights in a row and have leftovers the next day. Or if we want, we can, go and get pizza one night. And it's really helpful for not only our budget, but also my time and then also my energy as well.
For sure. Yeah, because, again, it creeps up on you. And then also, I know we talked to this before with the meal planning, is you also don't want to overbuy. And so if you have something going on 3 nights a week where it's easier to pick up food or, do something quick, there's no point in buying food for those nights for it to just go bad. But
I know as we're rounding to the end of the year, a lot of people are thinking of, it's the end of the year. I had all of these hopes for this year, or, we're at the last quarter at work and we have all these deadlines or projects. So really keeping in mind our time management, really keeping in mind your self-care management as well. And really asking for help or support or taking a mental health day if we can, because we're getting really close, like Jen said, to the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, when things do get very, very busy with all of the parties and festivals and family time and decorating and shopping, and it becomes very overwhelming.
And a lot of people don't factor in the shopping time it takes. They just think it's going to happen, or I'll just stay up on Amazon late one night. But going back to your point about communication, though, with family members, I also really encourage you to ask people what they enjoyed last year, because you may have it in your mind that, like, oh, we did this tradition that was fantastic, and the kids or your husband are like, what? No, I'd rather do something else, or let's try this new thing, and the new thing replaces something else. So being open and flexible with that as well.
Yeah, I will say, I'm really big with family. We have a cousin time a few times a year, and this cousin time was a little different. As our cousins are getting a little bit older, they're becoming teenagers, they're just wanting to hang out for a little bit and then go hang out with their friends, or they have work or soccer. We have some competitive soccer players, and so being okay to reframe our expectations and also reframe what those traditions are or how they can shift a little bit too. As my little kid is getting bigger, he's still little, I want to make sure that we're not still going and watching that same cartoon movie over and over every Christmas. If he's like, I've seen it 12 times, Mom, I can quote it. We might want to, shift that a little bit to, a newer movie, or maybe a different tradition for the holiday.
And it could be as simple as, everybody write down your favorite holiday tradition. And then sometimes there's overlap, sometimes there's not. But then you can know how to prioritize if you're feeling overwhelmed with all the things.
Yeah. And for parents, it's not easy to please everybody, nor is it expected to.
Yes.
And so I really say to parents, especially if your kids are saying, I'm bored, it's okay. Your kids don't always have to be entertained, and you don't always have to have something big and exciting for your kids on the weekends or in the evenings. It can be really helpful just to have that downtime like we talked about before.
Yes.
So when do you find downtime in this season of life? Do you have downtime?
Great joke, Courtney.
Or how would you like to have downtime this fall?
So it's going to be one thing that's going to be easier that I'm looking forward to because we have moved. I know I talk about this a lot, but we're closer to the grandparents. So with the holidays, any of the holidays, it's been really hard because it's like who's coming here, who's going where. We have to factor in drive time, packing time, all the things in order to get certain places for certain holidays. And this way, we're all here. So it's going to be a lot less stressful from a planning standpoint. So maybe that will get me some more downtime. But it's kind of just smaller chunks of things and just prioritizing. And I try not to plan something every day over the weekend. Mm-hmm, so instead of where it used to be like, oh, there's this thing Saturday, there's this thing Sunday, like you were saying, planning downtime. I just schedule one important thing each weekend because I know I can get one thing done. Inevitably, kids get sick, something happens, and so some weekends you might get to do 3 things, and if so, great, and you can see how you're feeling, and if you want to go do something else on Sunday after you did your number one priority, go for it. But having that flexibility in space has been really helpful, especially with kids going back to school. They tend to get sick more frequently. Everybody does. It starts the flu season. So giving yourself that time is really helpful. What about you?
Well, I will say for me, this season, I love downtime, even though a lot of people would argue with me about that.
Yeah, I would.
But with that downtime, like I find there's certain amount of brain space and physical energy it takes, and then there's like I'm enjoying this and this is energizing me time. So
yes,
I will say anytime I'm at home and I have people that I really enjoy being around, that's my downtime. And so I love being at home. I love hosting, and we try very hard to have time at home and have people come to us instead of us going. So my son has gotten very comfortable with who's coming over. I can't wait to play with them. I can't wait to have them in my home. Mm-hmm. And also, I love time efficiency. If you haven't heard or seen that podcast, I love time efficiency. But I also can be like, I'm doing laundry while I'm hanging out here, so my mental stress comes down so much. Or you know what? I can fold some towels, and then I can sit down and chat with people. So watching football with my husband, he's going to hear this later. I actually like watching football. I just don't like watching football all weekend, all day long, all the time. But that is good quality time with me and my husband. My kid can play. Me and my husband can sit next to each other. We can talk about the teams and the playing. And this is actually a time that I enjoy if my husband's at home and not, at a game or something like that.
Yeah. And that brings up another point with outings. This is also a big time for concerts. So with sporting events, lots of concerts are coming up. Mm-hmm. So factoring in time for that, if there's tickets you want to buy or tickets you bought, 6 months ago, a year ago, because that's how some
you have to buy in
tours
advance.
Are, right? And you forget about it, and it's like, oh yeah, I have this tour. Better book the babysitter or,
Yes. I know. That's something that we're trying to get into more is time together, me and my husband, because we're both very busy professionals, and we love work. We're very good at our jobs, we think, but trying to make sure we're also really good at being with each other and being with our son at home.
Yes. One other thing that I really enjoy about the transition to fall too, and to help with prioritizing is, sometimes you can bring that fall feeling in just in the meal you make as opposed to, making it some sort of big event, right? So this is, I talked earlier about the, the spiced apple ciders, or the apple butter at Trader Joe's comes out, which is super yummy. So, what are those seasonal foods? We tend to transition from more salads to heartier foods, some soups, getting ready for our hibernation that we don't actually take, but we eat like we're going to be hibernating.
We can keep that tradition. That tradition doesn't need to leave.
But it's, simple things like that. Like, how can you bring in foods that feel like the season and just have them at your regular meal times as opposed to making a big deal?
And I will say, as we're talking about traveling and you're not traveling as much anymore because family is closer. My husband does travel for work. We're actually taking some time with my husband on his work travel. So that's another way for us to have like downtime. I take some time and space away from work. I take my kid out of school and we go and have a few days exploring a new place. And my husband hopefully will have, a few hours a day to hang out with us too. And that's some fun memories as well. So instead of us all being separated, we can have a little bit of fun adventure time together.
Yes, I think really the key idea for this season or any season is really just what works for you and your family and prioritizing that, and don't do what society says you have to do this season. It says you have to go look at the leaves or you have to do this or that. Just do what feels good for you and what makes good family memories for you.
Yeah. So our hope is for you to reframe your time, your finances, your energy, and making sure that this season feels good for you. A lot of times when we get to the cooler months, we get to the darker months, it can feel really overwhelming and stressful. Making sure that you're finding things that bring you joy, that bring happiness to you, and it can feel a little bit of that burden lifted.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So until next time, we hope you enjoy the fall. We hope you enjoy this turn of seasons. It's a new season. It's a new start for another part of the year. We're rounding out the end of the year. We hope you'll continue to follow us, comment on any of these podcasts, and make sure you like and share as well. And if you want more information, you can find our book. We also have social media, and we can't wait to hear from you soon.
And be sure to leave any of your family traditions below too. Like, we love to hear what other families do to celebrate the change of the seasons, and it might inspire someone else to try something new. So
new traditions.
Yes.
See you later.
Bye.